So, Mark, you've been looking at some numbers today, and do you think the pricing really low and doing multiple offers is a thing of the past?
I think the strategy is worn out. And what I mean by that is that market's turned a little bit, slowing down a little bit more product. So that buyer's got some more choices today. Looking at the last sales for the last 3 days, 14 sales, 2 of them withholding offers got over list. Everybody else wasn't holding off offers. Double digits on days on market. So I think that strategy is not working right now. And I don't think it's going to work until inventory becomes a little bit lower. We're not seeing the turns as we did in May, but it's not a bad market. We're probably going to finish off at 205. That's decent, but don't think that strategy is going to work.
Well, and I see some people putting what they think is a low price, like $6.99. We're going to withhold offers.
Yeah.
And I seen someone else downtown down in the city core more at $7.99, and they withhold offers, and neither one got them. So then they both dropped another 100,000 and withheld again, and got barely over that.
Right. And let's talk about that property on Gun, where it was listed at $6.99 at first, held off on offers for a week, nothing.
And 2 weeks almost, I think.
Yeah, 2 weeks. And then listed it at $5.99, hold off on offers till June 26th and got $6.35. 26 days on market. So you tell me if that's working. I mean, it worked at $5.99, but the market wasn't there for that. Obviously, that seller was thinking you're going to get $750. House is small. It's cute. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a nice property, but there's some detriments with the ceilings as we discussed with it. The rooms aren't that big, but cute looking property. So I think the market spoke at 635 probably was the right number.
But then again, if you would have listed it at 649, would it have sold at 649?
Right. That's the thing. Right. And you can imagine, because that seller who's selling that property, that's tough. There's some stress involved in that. People coming through your house, open houses, leaving, coming. If you have kids, dogs, animals, that's a pain. And then they're always calling it, what's the feedback? What's the feedback? Are we getting? They're excited. And that's stressful over time. I think that plays on you. And I don't think, that seller shouldn't went through that garbage.
Well, and the problem is, in both of those instances, and I know there's others, their first price, they thought they were going to get a bidding war.
Right, at $6.99. So what were they expecting? $750?
Yeah.
Probably.
And I know the one downtown was at $7.99. So they were probably expecting in the eights. And then they didn't get it. And now they go down to $6.99 and try to get a bidding war, and they're getting low sevens.
Right.
So I don't know, like the bidding wars in general, you do see the odd ones still working. And I think as a listing agent, you kind of got to go off the numbers. Like if 80% aren't working, then you don't do it.
Right.
If 80% are working,
do it. All the herd. But we're seeing right now a change, and we're not seeing that working so well anymore. And I saw one come up yesterday. Forget the street, nice townhouse, new townhouse, $499. Yeah, they're going to get some attention on it. But again, is it the right attention at the end of the day? Right? Is it the right buyer walking through your front door with 50 or 60 showings?
The problem I find is that now, because so many are priced at market value, you're getting the person that actually could only afford that. So if you're listed at $599, you're getting the people that their budget's $600. They can't afford $700 or $750.
And that's where that property should probably sell. I didn't really look at that closely, but inside unit, it's going over 7. Decent floor plan. It's going over 7. But I agree. So
I bet you they don't get it though. I bet you they don't get it because the people with a budget of over 7 aren't going there.
They're not going there. They're not going there. No, you're going to get the budget of, hey, we can afford 6. And let me tell you, those agents from North York, Toronto area, they do no homework. They don't know how to do it, or they just forget about doing it. They're bringing the people up and going, yeah, great, this is 4.9, it's probably going to sell for 6. Probably you're way off to lunch. They're not pulling the comps to seeing what's selling in that neighborhood. But sure, you got all kinds of activity, but it's the wrong activity, I believe.
Well, and at the end of the day, you're still not going to get into your 7s. You're still going to get in your 6s because no one can afford it anyway, even if they wanted to.
I agree. And look, when I listed my townhome back in March, okay, things were moving a bit, not like they were in May, but there was some activity. What did I priced it at 649, right? 40 some showings, 3 offers, one at 650, one at 655, and one at 720. I felt defeated and went, really? The one down the road sold for 7 and doesn't have what I have. So that tells me no one's looking. Long story short, as you know, the story, I pick up the phone to the 720 agent, says, I ain't taking none of them. What do you mean? I'm not taking none of them. They're not up to my expectation. Then we got 765 for it.
Yeah.
So if I would have done that and just sent them an email, I probably wouldn't have got 765.
No, well, and most people these days, especially if it wasn't your house and you weren't in a rush.
Right. I was in a rush. I had time. So that was on my side where I don't care if I don't get, and I told them that I don't care. I have times on my side. I don't need to sell it till June if I want, or July. I don't care. And I think maybe that helped out too. But every agent out of 45 or 46 showings, 4 of them were local. The rest were out of town.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know.
I mean, I think it's funny because I think you do have to go with the herd. You have to see what the market's doing and you have to adjust to that.
Yeah,
and a lot of agents, if you're not busy and you're not watching, they're not adjusting.
Not adjusting. No, they're not. Not at all. The smart ones that are full-time in the business, that this is their career and their livelihood, they're watching the market. They're seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
And communicating that to their sellers and buyers, what's going on. But the ones that are part-time in this business, and we know there's gazillions of them, they're not watching it. They're working a 9-to-5 job. You got kids at home.
Yeah.
Great, I want to come look at those.
Well, you know what I think the other thing is, you see 1 or 2 that went over and you think, oh yeah, let's do this. But if 80 or 90% aren't working and only 1% is working, is that a good strategy? You know, they see the odd one and they think, oh yeah, this is a strategy. But you have to follow. You got to.
And looking at, again, I'm not saying it's doom and gloom, but we're seeing a shift for June a little bit. We're seeing more inventory, 401 listings in BARRIE right now. Haven't seen that in a while, but summertime, great. And now we're coming to the holiday season. So now that buyer that's out there shopping, they have a little choice now. They have a little bit more buying power now. They got a little bit more negotiation power behind them now. We saw it today with the sales for the last 4 days. 25 days on market, 14 days on market, 10 days on market. The odd 9 was a shock. So it's taking longer to sell. And hence why we have 401 properties in the market and less sales than consistently that we've been seeing. But that's my take on that piece of it. But I just think it's a different market out there than it was a couple of weeks ago, and people need to shift.
Well, and I think shifts happen every week sometimes. There's shifts constantly. It's constantly shifting. If you're not watching all the time, yes, you're behind the curve every time.
There is, but there's also a lot at play as well. We got inflation. We're coming a carbon tax in a couple of days. Saw on the news today at the gym, people are filling up their home, like people that have these, gas things, their home, or propane or whatever, oil furnaces, and beating the carbon tax. Like, all this plays into play with things right now, and it's changing by the week. What are the Feds going to do? Are they going to, pause in July? I don't know.
I just heard that they're going to raise interest rates July 28th.
Oh no, it's way before that. They're going to come out. They're going to come out next week and see what they're going to do. CPI numbers will be coming in for June next week. We'll have the numbers. So if inflation's going up, or if it's lower than May, I bet they'll pause. But if it's higher, they're going to raise again. They are. So there's a change in the market again, right? We're going to see it. We're going to see And are we going to see, let's be honest, are we going to see these people that have been in variable products for the last year and a half struggling? When is a white towel coming out and say, I'm done. I can't
Well,
afford $100 a month.
I think what's going to
giving up.
happen is like a lot of people are locked in and everybody's renewing at different times. So like, I don't think the real brunt of it has been felt until we start hitting 2-3 years where people had 2-3 year mortgages. That's what I think.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different topic, but yes, that's something to think about, right? Where people are great and it's in these low rates now, and there's lots of them. You know, we can't even pinpoint what's going to happen next month in the market, let alone 3 years. But what if things get sour? What happens if, you know, this economy tanks? And I'm still in the thinking that it's going to in time. I think Mr. and Mrs. Consumer are struggling out there today. We're not seeing it too much on retail sales. They're still up, which surprises me, but they're going to come a time when they're going to come down, and we're cutting back. We're not going to the keg for dinner once a month. We're going once a quarter now, maybe. Things will cut back, you know, and
we'll have to see how it ends, Mark.
yeah, no one knows. But to your point, things are changing on a weekly basis right now by other macroeconomic things that are changing markets so fast, and the real estate
And you gotta be up. You gotta be up on it and you gotta know it.
You gotta know what's going on, and because we're seeing changes, right? My condo listing, I called a couple agents couple days ago. How you make it on your listing? Dead. 48 days in the market, 50 days in the market. Started off okay. Nothing. Whoa, one firmed up in the building on gallery. 75 days in the market. 739. So I think they started at 739, 719. We came in the market, they went to 699. They got an offer, firmed up yesterday, 675. And it was backing onto the wooded, so the views are better. Took a long time to sell, right? So I don't know. There's a shift in the condo market. I can tell you that right now, except the ones at Toronto Street are selling well, and the ones on Nautica are selling well. Everything else seems to be slow.
Okay, Mark, if you guys like our stuff, hit like, subscribe, or share, and get your our new videos as soon as they're out.
And leave a comment.
Yes, or ask a question.
Yeah. All right. I think we're done.
We're done.
Okay. See you.
See ya.